right, y'all. First and foremost, we always like to give praise to the God of Israel and of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Like I said before, if you ain't talking about Israel, you ain't talking about nothing. When it's according to this Bible, you have to mention Israel. The topic of this message today is Sodomy. Sodomy. S-O-D-O-M-Y. Sodomy. It's a real, if you don't understand what sodomy means, it means a gay or homosexual lifestyle. We're gonna put a handle, we're gonna put a name on this thing, because this sodomy is rapid in the world. It's rapid. For men, marrying men, women, marrying women, men having intercourse with men, women having intercourse with women. It's just crazy.
It is, bro.
It's crazy.
Come on.
And I want to make sure you understand what this word sodomy means. I'm going to let my brother read in the American Heritage Dictionary and define sodomy for you. You get it when you read it, brother.
Sodomy, any of various forms of sexual intercourse held to be unnatural or abominable.
See what it said? Unnatural. It's not natural for a man to be sleeping with a man. Period. It's not natural for a woman to be sleeping with a woman. Period. That's for married people having intercourse only. Only. A man and a woman. You got today, these people are standing beside these homosexuals. They uplifting them.
That's right.
Making laws for them.
Come on,
making it easier.
Man.
And you have so many people today who follow beside them. Oh, I like to hang around them, they have fun. Oh, look at him, he dressed good. He showed me how to dress. He can dress better than the women dress. I mean, just have them all in their company. They love hanging with them. Personally, like I said, I'm telling you right now, I don't hate gay or homosexual people. I just hate the works of them.
Come on.
Their lifestyle. That lifestyle will take you to the lake of fire faster than anything. Well, one way it'll take you to the lake of fire. Being homosexual or gay. But we're going to start in Genesis chapter 13 and understand where did this word come from? Sodom. Everybody heard about the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. God destroyed 2 cities because of this. It's sickening, y'all.
It is.
Usually back in the day, they stay in the closet, but now they busting the closet out. You got football players coming out gay, and they are uplifting him. Basketball players. You got all these certain actors, athletes. It don't even matter. They uplifting these people. They stand beside them.
That's right. Amen.
And guess what? The man of God inside these churches ain't saying nothing about it. Ain't preaching no sermon about homosexual being false. You rarely hear it. But you're going to hear it here today. We're going to start in Genesis chapter 13 and start at verse 1. Let us understand this evil and where it started from. This evil cousin. Go ahead when you get it, brother.
And Abraham went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south.
Go ahead.
And Abraham was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold.
See, this is when Abraham and Lot went into this land. But the land he went into, it was too big for Abraham and Lot because they had too many servants, they weren't getting along. So they're going to have to separate. But jump down to verse 5. Let's look at that.
And Lot also, which went with Abraham, had flocks, herds, and tents. And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together. For their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together.
They had too much stuff. They couldn't dwell together, so they had to separate. So we're going to look at the separation. Jump down to verse 12.
And Abraham dwelt it in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelt it in the cities of the plain. and pitched his tent toward Sodom.
That's where Abraham is dwelling in Canaan. Then Lot dwelled in Sodom. It's a land called Sodom. But it was some very evil people that was in Sodom already. But go ahead.
But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly.
Very wicked. And we're going to look at the custom of these men. Let's go to Genesis chapter 18. We're going to start at verse 1. We got to understand about this Sodom, y'all. It's an epidemic. It's nothing new. This been going on forever. We in Genesis, and you're going to find out these people been doing this a long time ago.
Absolutely. Come on.
And a lot of people say, man, this thing, this gay lifestyle, man, really taking over. It always been here. It's just that most people don't preach about it. Because they're going to sacrifice their congregation. They're going to sacrifice their choir director. They're going to have to sacrifice a lot of people because you're going to call them out if you read these scriptures. And they don't sacrifice their bread. Let's look at this. Let's go to Genesis chapter 18. And let's see when Jesus came down and talked to Abraham. Go ahead.
And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre. And he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. This is when the Lord came down and talked to Abraham. Go ahead. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood about him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground. See, the Lord always going to show up with his angels on the side of him. But it just tells you that Jesus showed up and the 2 angels were with him. He always showed up with them. Just like in Genesis, when he cast Adam and Eve outside the garden, he's put 2 angels, cherub angels outside to protect what? The tree of life. He always going to be with these angels. Jump down to verse 16. And the men rose up from thence and looked toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. See, the men rose up and looked toward Sodom. They saw an evil thing that was going on. But he wanted to tell Abraham first and ask him and talk to him about the situation. Let's look at that. Go ahead. And the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? He said, shall I hide from Abraham, the thing which I do? Because understand this, Abraham is our forefather. The line that we came from. He said, look, he's going to reveal everything to his prophets. Like I told y'all before last week, we talked about the priests of God. The priest, Israel, is a kingdom of priests. He's going to reveal it to us first before he do anything. Anything. But he said, shall I hide this from Abraham that I was going to do? Let's see what he's going to do. Go ahead. Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. Yes, sir. Because Jesus is going to come through Abraham's lineage. Go ahead. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken of him. Yes, sir. Go ahead. And the Lord said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous. He said the cry of Sodom is great. Meaning that sin that they were doing in that city, he could hear it from up heaven. Exactly. He could hear it. And the Lord gonna say, man, I got to go down here and see this. Go ahead, look what the Lord did. Go ahead, verse 21. I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me. And if not, I will know. Jesus got off his throne. He said, I got to go see this. He said, I got to go see this. This evil that they was doing in Sodom. Go ahead. And the men turned their faces from thence and went toward Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before the Lord. Go ahead. And Abraham drew near and said, wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Now here comes Abraham, he talking for us. He's like, man, don't destroy all these people now. And the Lord, he listened to him. He listened to him, he listened to him. But when the Lord said he's going to do something, he's going to do it. Go ahead. Peradventure, there be 50 righteous within the city. Would thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein?
Now the Lord begging for, Abraham is begging the Lord, said, look, if it's 50 people in the city, will you destroy it or not? He said, okay. He played with him a little bit. Okay, go ahead and see, can you find 50? He knew it wasn't 50 in there. Go ahead.
That be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked, that be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right?
He talking good for us now, for our people. He said, shall not the judge of the earth do right? He was begging that. Let's see, can we find 50? If we find 50, Lord, you won't destroy it, right? He said, okay, go ahead and see, can you find 50? Go ahead, verse 26.
And the Lord said, if I find in Sodomy 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sake.
He couldn't find 50. He couldn't find 10. And this is the thing that was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham went back and forth with the Lord. He went from 50, 40, all the way down to 10. Jump down to verse 32, and let's look at that.
And he said, oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure, 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake.
Go ahead.
And the Lord went his way as soon as he had left murmuring with Abraham, and Abraham returned unto his place.
He couldn't even find 10 righteous people there. Everybody was engaging in this sodomy. And these sodomites, they was homosexuals, engaging in his lifestyle. But he spared Lot's family. Jump down, just go to Genesis chapter 19, verse 1. Let's look at that. He spared Lot's family. He went down there to try to talk to Lot and rescue his family. But a certain situation went on that we're going to find out about these people, which you're going to know they are called sodomites in the Bible. You're not going to find gay or homosexual in the Bible. There's always going to be sodomy, which is the city, Sodom and Gomorrah, and they are called sodomites.
That's right.
Homosexuals.
Come on, brother.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 1. Let's look at this.
And there came 2 angels to Sodom at evening, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground.
Go ahead.
And he said, behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house. Tarry all night and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, nay, but we will abide in the street all night.
These 2 angels came to Lot, and he said they were going to stay in the street all night. So the angel came there to do a job to warn Lot to get out of the city. But they want to stay in the street. But understand this, you in a homosexual city, he said, it ain't good to stay in no street.
That's right.
He told me, y'all come on in my house, because he knows what these people are going to try to do. Let's go to verse 3. Go ahead.
And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat.
So he made them a feast, made them some food. Look what happened. Go ahead.
But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house around, both old and young, all the people from every quarter.
They gonna leave men. They're like, man, what's going on in there? We saw some men up in there. Some fresh meat, as the people would say today. If you go in jail, they say some fresh meat that came in the jail.
That's right.
They want to know them men. And you know what men do with men in jail. Homosexual lifestyle. Go ahead.
And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them.
He said, bring them out, that we may know them. He's not talking about, hey, how you doing? What's your name?
That's
Where
right.
you come from?
Come on.
No, they want to know them in the bed.
Amen.
Sleeping with them. Homosexuals. Lifestyle. Sodomy. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him,
Go ahead.
and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly.
He said, don't do this wicked thing, man. Don't do wickedly. Is it wicked for another man to talk to another man in conversation? No. It's a wicked thing when you're trying to sleep with another man. Go ahead.
Behold now, I have 2 daughters, which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof.
A lot better man than me. I want to offer my daughters to them.
I brought a shotgun.
Period. Yes, sir. Brought a shotgun or something, man. But Lot said, don't do this wicked thing. I'm going to offer you my virgin daughters who ain't known a man. Known a man. He going to offer them to them.
That's right.
But look what happened. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will need be a judge. Now will we deal worse more than thee, than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door.
These jokers want these men so bad, they tried to break the door down.
That's right.
Break the door down to have sex with these men.
Exactly.
It's sick. But these preachers today ain't teaching this, y'all. And if you look around, you will see that they're not preaching this. Because it's rampant in the churches. It's rampant in the school. It's rampant even in all the athletes, arenas. I mean, it's rampant everywhere.
That's right.
This stuff happened in Genesis. Ain't no other book before Genesis. This been going on for a long time. Go ahead, let's look and see what happened.
Verse 10. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut to the door.
And they just said, man, get him. They're going to do something to you. They pulled Lot in his own house.
That's right.
Pull him in. Go ahead.
And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door.
Man, these angels had to blind these men. Had to smote them. He said smote them with blind. I mean, they had to blind them so they can get out of there. That's how bad that these men want to sleep with these angels. Men. Go ahead.
And the men said unto Lot, hast thou here any besides son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place.
Get them out of there. Go ahead.
For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord has sent us to destroy.
The Lord sent them to destroy this place. Ain't nobody righteous in that city. He said, look, I'm going to spare you, your sons-in-laws and your daughter. You just get them on out of here a lot. But go ahead, verse 14.
And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law.
So the Lord looked at him and said, man, you out your mind, man. We ain't leaving Sodom and Gomorrah. You crazy. This is where we been staying. We love it here. They mocked it, laughed at it. This is what's going on today, y'all. They don't think the Lord gonna destroy this whole earth. They mocking God. Why I say they mocking God? Because you got so many of these nations standing with these homosexuals. Standing with them. And these people are not preaching about this stuff at all. Go ahead.
And when the morning arose, then the angel hastened Lot, saying, arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city.
Go ahead.
And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth and set him without the city.
See, they was lingering, being slow poking.
That's right.
Slow poking around and not even in all around his house, so the angel had to levitate them out of there.
That's right.
He had to take them and fly him out of there. How you think they got outside the city? He flew them out. Took his daughters and his wife and him locked out the city. Because they couldn't get out, because these men inside this city weren't going to let them go. Go ahead.
17. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, escape for thy life. Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain, except escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed.
He told him, don't look back now. Escape to the plains. Keep rolling. You know a lot of people today, man, we had so much fun, reminiscing. Man, I got my son-in-laws back there. I got my husband back there. Looking back. Or Lot's wife, she got her mama back there. Or her cousin, she looking back. But the thing was, it was one person who looked back. That was his wife. And y'all know what happened to her. She turned into a pillar of salt. He said, don't even turn your back and look back.
That's right.
And she did. Jump down to verse 24.
Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven.
Yes, sir.
And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt.
And I'm telling you now, you got a lot of people, especially women, they so emotional, don't want to pull away from that stuff. And he used that for an example. That's why he put it in. He said, look, she looked back. She looked back and she turned into a pillar of salt. She probably said, man, I got all that good stuff there. I got all my people there. Lord trying to get you out of that city. Just like when there's going to be a time when we got to flee to the wilderness. And most people going to be looking back like, no, I can't go to the wilderness. I can't go to the wilderness. I can't leave my stuff. Man, you better get out of this place. Out of this place. They're going to destroy this place to the ground. They're going to be raping women. They're going to be shooting up houses. They're going to be doing everything they possibly can. Killing folks. This is an example. God uses other nations to carry out his punishment. And believe me, in the last day, he's going to use these nations to carry out his punishment. Period. This is an example. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 20. Let's look at the law of God and see if this homosexual lifestyle is righteous. Leviticus chapter 20, we're going to read one verse here, verse 13. See, we got to understand this. The Christian churches today, they've been doing away with the Old Testament. They've been doing away. But if we're going to show you, it's in both Testaments. It's all over the book. This homosexual lifestyle is everywhere, and all over this book. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 20, verse 13. Read it, brother.
If a man also lie with mankind, as he lied with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them.
Look what he said. He said, if a man also lie with mankind, you got two men lying together. God told his prophets, his priests, if you see that, kill them on the spot.
That's right.
Kill them. Get this outside of Israel. They didn't tolerate it at all. But this day and time,